Today's topic is where kindness comes from. I thought this was another good area to contemplate for the new year. The first place that kindness comes from is innocence. So many people have experienced or witnessed where it's really easy to open the door for a stranger or to offer to carry something. And then for people that we might know, for friends and family, or for children or partners or colleagues, we might not offer these little kindnesses. And part of the reason is when we know someone, sometimes it can be hard to consistently want to be kind. And it also comes from sometimes when we know someone, we don't really think that it's socially necessary to go out of our way to do extra little things. And we also make the assumption that they should know that we care about them, or that they should realize that we're going through something, and so they shouldn't expect us to go out of our way to help with little things. So the second place that kindness comes from is a good mood. Similarly, a good mood is conditional, and so there's many people where they're having a good day, something cool has happened, and it's really easy for them to be kind, to be generous, to be positive and supportive and uplifting to people around them because things are going well for them. And then when they're in a bad mood or they're having a bad day, then they can be grouchy, or they can just be complacent, like where they don't really notice what's going on with other people. And so that having that person, like if that person is in a family or in a friend group or at work, having that person be consistently kind is a challenge. And if we're that person, then it's also a challenge to kind of overcome that way of thinking about kindness. So the third place that kindness comes from, now we're getting into actual behavioral consistency, where we're entering a non-conditional place. So the third place is when we mindfully practice kindness. So this can come from self-reflection. Maybe we've thought about our life a little bit more. Maybe we've thought about our relationships more, and we want to practice being more kind. It can also come from being reprimanded, like at work, where someone might say, a boss or a colleague might say, oh, this person isn't very kind, or they're not, they're easily stressed out. They get caught up in what they're doing and they don't really pay attention to other people. So it can come from a variety of places where we might just receive that feedback from more than one person and think, okay, maybe we need to put more effort into being kind. So the fourth place that kindness comes from is a deeper place as well, and it comes from a belief or value system for some people. So there are many people who feel strongly that if they are kind, things will work out better. When they walk into a situation in a family, when they walk into a situation at work, they basically feel that if they bring kindness into the situation, then things will run better. It'll be smoother. People will be in a good mood or a better mood. Conflicts will resolve with more ease. So this person has decided that they will bring kindness into each space that they enter. That's their responsibility, and it's something that's important to them. And they've seen the results of making that like investment and focusing in that way. The fifth place that kindness comes from is knowing someone's pain and suffering. This is a really interesting place because this is something where a person can be self-absorbed, they can be a little mean, and when they know that someone's grieving, or when they know that someone has had a baby, or when they know that someone is going through a divorce, or they're going through a sickness, then all of a sudden the person is not self-absorbed. They're actually really attentive. They are thoughtful. They check in on the person. So this is one of those ways of being kind that it affects people in groups. Like, you'll see that when someone is grieving, a bunch of people might come over and bring them food, or when someone has had a baby, a bunch of people might visit and want to go out of their way for that person. So yeah, this is one of those things that a lot of people shift and change once they know someone's suffering. And it almost happens en masse, where it's a socially acceptable behavior, it's a socially desirable behavior, or like a lot of people in families behave this way, a lot of people in friend groups, and a lot of people in work situations. They just give someone a little bit more slack, they're a little bit more gentle when they know that they're going through something. And yeah, it's a common social response that also comes from a deeper place. So the final place that kindness comes from, and this is the deepest place, is true compassion. And when we have true compassion, we don't need to know someone's suffering. We don't need to know what they're going through. We don't need to know what they've been through. And someone with true compassion can be kind to another person that they're jealous of. They can be kind to another person that is mean or that has different values than them. And they can be kind when they're in a bad mood, when they're having a bad day. So this is the deepest place that kindness comes from, is recognizing that the way we are all connected is through that experience of suffering as human beings, that it doesn't matter if someone's going through something now, or they're going to go through something, or they've been through something. We want to practice and live a life of kindness, so that we are just contributing a little bit of relief, a little bit of soothing, a little bit of positivity to as many people as possible, so that we're not bringing more pain and discomfort and further suffering to people in general as we live our day-to-day life. So that is the most unconditional place that kindness comes from. And when we find that in ourselves, when we can find that place in ourselves, when we can connect to others that way, no matter how different they are, or no matter how much we don't get along with them, then we have transcended a kind of self-centered perspective on who to be nice to, when to be nice, on a kind of niceness or kindness that's self-serving and that is fickle and conditional. So those are the 6 places that we can find kindness, that we can practice kindness. And most people are somewhere along a spectrum where they kind of practice each of these things at different times, in different seasons, in different ways, depending on what stage of life they're in and what stage of a situation that they're going through, or a circumstance that they're going through. So hopefully that is helpful. These are just some my last videos, like this month. I just want them to be about topics where bringing contemplation and reflection will help us move into the new year with more mindfulness, with more self-awareness. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you for listening, and I am sending lots of blessings from Toronto.